Hi, this is Kathy Bartlett. I'm here to discuss the case study about Internet Use Violations, Standard 5. In Category 1, we are supposed to identify the problem and analyze it. One of the main things that we know is that this school district is in an affluent community, so the students have access to good technology, they have supportive parents, they have a principal who has an excellent reputation. He's even won some awards. Miss Walker is highly educated and a little older than some of the other new teachers because she's been to school a little longer. The incident also happens in November of Miss Walker's second year of teaching, so she's not a brand new teacher. And her teaching style is a little too rigorous and serious, and therefore Dr. Forbes has given her techniques for better classroom management. Miss Walker has not implemented those suggestions, however, and so parents and students are complaining. Someone created a web page threatening Miss Walker's life, whether it's serious or a joke, we don't know. Miss Walker suspects a student named Randy Franks because he's tech savvy and has a grudge against her. Miss Walker's parents live 3 hours away. That's significant because she went to spend the night there the night after this threat happened. And so actually my first thought was, do I need to get a sub for the next morning? How is she going to get to work on time? I don't know. Things that I still need to know. I need to know what classroom management strategies Miss Walker has been using that's upset her students. I need to know what parents were specifically complaining about. I need to know what other persons might have a grudge against Miss Walker. I need to know what policies are in place for threats against teachers in this district. Just a few things I don't know just from reading the case study. The problem identified. I think that Dr. Forbes needs to maintain a culture in the school that is positive and safe for everybody, and therefore he needs to respond to the threat as an act of malice, and he also needs to encourage and mentor this threatened teacher and take care of this classroom situation. So after we know the problem, then in Category 2, we need to think of a plan of action. And the plan basically that I've come up with, since I've identified really two problems, we have a website malice issue to deal with, and we have a teacher issue. And of course, in the website malice issue, we need to find out who threatened Miss Walker. We need to take disciplinary action. And with the teacher issue, I need to have her come back to school. I need to make sure she feels safe and that I'm on her side. And I need to continue mentoring her so that she can be a successful classroom teacher. The strategies I would use to implement this is, first of all, with the website issue, I would start probably by interviewing Randy Franks and definitely not accusing him at all, but maybe he's somebody to start with. Ask what's going on in the class. Is he aware of any of the website issues or anything like that? Interviewing other students as well, just finding out what the kids know. Sometimes they have a lot of information. I would definitely work with my team to help in this situation. I would want to work with the IT department investigating that website and possibly law enforcement as well. And then I would follow up with disciplinary action if necessary, whatever the school policy would be. As far as taking care of this teacher, she needs some help in the classroom. She's already been given some guidance that she didn't follow. Things have gotten out of control in this situation. She needs to be observed on a regular basis, I think, whether it's by me or if I assign a teacher coach to her or something like that. She needs to be observed. She needs somebody to meet with her on a regular basis to mentor her. I would suggest setting very small goals, one step at a time, having her try different techniques, and following up on those to see how they're going and help her reach some level of success in her classroom. After doing these things, I think we should have some resolutions going on in the classroom. And of course, I have to think about what is best for all students. I want to think beyond this student or person, we don't even know it's a student, but beyond just this one incident. We need to think about all the students in this classroom. And I think that one of the best things for the students would be to have a teacher who's not only well educated, but also competent and fair in the classroom so that they can learn. A fair and competent classroom teacher would promote the success of all students and not frustrate them on a continual basis. So I guess the whole time I was doing this study, I kept thinking about both problems, and really my heart is with the teacher and classroom issue. I think it's very important that we take care of that. So my resolutions would be, if we follow through with everything I said, is that the person is found who created the website, school procedures followed for consequences, and no more threats occur, hopefully. In the classroom, I would hope that Ms. Walker practices a technique suggested by Dr. Forbes and has some success. I would hope the class becomes a place of academic rigor without creating unnecessary stress. I think you can do both. And students are able to learn, they're successful, and therefore then the parents are also supportive of Ms. Walker, Dr. Forbes, and the school as they have been. Then debriefing the problem is important. So what I was thinking about is that although Ms. Walker is highly educated, she doesn't know how to deal with students or take advice from a superior since she had not implemented suggestions from a principal, and that bothered me a lot. A teacher needs to do more than be subject knowledgeable. It's important that the principal facilitate learning by developing his staff, and that is what I felt needed to happen. That's where I would want to put my energy if I was in his shoes. I was also thinking about the threatening email, and I wanted to keep my teacher safe. I wanted to keep the school safe. I wanted that person making the threat to be found out and have serious consequences. It's important for a principal to manage the operation in order to keep the environment a safe and effective place to learn. So I felt that the threat needed to be dealt with immediately and stopped. I needed to send a message that this kind of behavior would not be tolerated in my school. And I wanted to make decisions that were fair for all and that would resolve the problem legally. What I was feeling was at first I was just irritated about the person who sent the threatening email, as I am always irritated when kids do stupid things. And in this case, I'm hoping it was just a kid making a stupid choice. I was also frustrated with Ms. Walker's lack of classroom control. It's very frustrating for me when teachers don't have control of their classroom. But at the same time, as I watched in the case study what was going on, I really respected Dr. Forbes. He was calm with Ms. Walker. He took charge right away, said he'd deal with the email for her. I really liked the way he behaved. I also felt sympathy for the students and parents who have been dealing with Ms. Walker's stressful classroom. I didn't like that at all. I value the school as a positive place to learn. I value safety for my teachers and students, and I value respect for all persons, definitely keeping the First Amendment rights in mind. So what issues would still be unresolved or open to further investigation? I'm not sure who threatened Ms. Walker at this point. Ideally, I would find that out. But according to the written case, we don't know who that instigator is, and we don't know who else might want to harm her. As far as monitoring Ms. Walker's classroom, we don't know if she would actually take the advice of her principal and apply those suggested techniques to improve her teaching style. She hadn't in the past. And I don't know how the students this year would respond to her, whether she'd be able to gain their respect or not. I don't know. It may be something that would have to wait until the next year. And I don't know if parent confidence and respect towards the school would come back. I don't know. Those are things that I wondered about. Then just reflecting on Standard 5. As far as demonstrating integrity and ethical behavior, I did this by not infringing on anyone's First Amendment rights. I did not accuse anyone of sending the website email. I keep free speech in mind. I did not establish consequences for the offender without proper documentation and legal counsel. Without actually seeing the website and the threat myself, I don't know if that person had the right to create that website or not. I treated Ms. Walker fairly. I would give her plenty of time to improve her classroom skills, even though I was very frustrated with her. And my first thought was, I don't really want her to come back to my school. That's not right. She deserves due process and some help and encouragement so that she can be successful in what she's doing. How do I treat people fairly and equitably with dignity? I treated Randy and his friends and others with respect by not accusing them of wrongdoing. I treated Ms. Walker equitably as I would any teacher under my supervision who needed some help, continuing to give her guidance and training. And I treated Ms. Walker with dignity by taking her fears seriously and taking action on the case immediately. I demonstrated a personal and professional code of ethics by responding to Ms. Walker and Dr. Forbes especially. He talked to her from home on Sunday evening. And he didn't have to do that. And I think this shows he cares for his staff beyond his own personal time and comfort. He logged on, he read that email, and he immediately began to formulate a plan. And that to me showed that threatening behavior is not tolerated and that the safety of the staff and students is a priority. Also, working with Miss Walker to help her become a better classroom teacher shows care for her as a professional and about the student's success taking place under her instruction. Overall, I felt like I was able to think through quite a number of issues in this case. It gave me a little glimpse of things that may occur as an administrator. Again, my heart was really for dealing with this whole classroom situation, helping her become a better teacher, helping all these students learn, especially since they are high-level students. They know what they expect, the parents are on board, and they needed lots of support. Thank you.